Hello everyone, welcome back. This is now the Build the Classic Routemaster issue 12. So in issue 12 we're going to be working on the left rear suspension arm and brake mechanism for obviously the rear, left rear. So yeah, without further ado, let's crack on. Looking forward to getting this started. There seems to be quite a lot of parts in this one. So yeah, let's just crack on and see what's what. Okay, so as normal I'm going to go through all the parts and just make sure everything is complete and present. So I'm just going to open this bag. Quite a large bag we got this time. And there's so many small parts, so be careful when you're tipping these out. Loads of parts. Come on, got one more bit stuck in there. There we go. That's everything. I'm going to leave that just down there just in case, but I think that is everything. So we've got this metal piece here, which is 12B, which is a shock dampener. So that will be the main part we're going to be working on. Okay. 12A. Sorry, that's the shock dampener. That is 12B, which is the left rear suspension arm. Sorry about that. Okay, then we've got two of these, which are 12A, which are the shock dampeners, and these are plastic parts. Let me just put some light on there. Might make things a bit better. It might be too bright. I'm not sure. Let's try that. Okay, so yeah, we've got these two shock dampeners there, and these are plastic. 12C is a suspension hinge, which is this part here, and this is made of metal. Okay. Just going to leave that to one side there for a minute. 12D, which is the left brake mount, and this is a plastic part. Okay. 12E, which is the brake lever, and that looks to be this part here. Okay, and it's got an L written on that. You may not be able to see that, but there is an L etched in the top of that, so we know we are working on the left rear suspension arm, so that is the correct part. 12F, which is a brake cylinder, again quite a detailed part. This is made of plastic, and on the back again up there is an L etched on that, so we know that that is correct. Okay, 12G are brake line connectors times 2. So we've got two of these. These are identical, but one side is slightly, on both of them, it's got slightly larger. I'm not sure if it'll pick that up. Hang on, let me just sort this. I love this. This camera's good, but the autofocus is terrible. Right. That side's smooth, and then the other side you've got like a more raised part on that. So when we come to fit these, we know that there's going to be a specific way for those to fit, but we'll work that out when we come to that part. I hope it's not too bright. Again, please leave in the comments below. I'm trying to make the lighting and the quality as best I can for you. So this could be too bright, but let me know what you think. Okay, moving on. We've got 12H, which is a bracket, and that is this part here. And again, that has got an L etched on it, so we know we're working in the right area, and that's got a screw hole and a locating pin on there. We've got the 12I, which is a control lever, which is this part here. Okay, and then we've got 12J, which is the stiffener, which is this piece of plastic here. Okay, and there we go. Classic example of autofocus just not working properly. Oh, I just wish it would work properly. It would make life so much easier. Okay, 12K is the brake line, which is actually just a piece of black tubing. So yeah, and that is hollow through the middle. So you could use it as a straw. And 12L is a return spring, which is this black spring here. It's got two different ends. You've got a circular piece. Let me just manually sort this camera out. So you've got one side here which has got a circular piece, and this side has got like a longer piece, then a circle on it. So that is going to be directional when we come to fit that. Okay, and then we've got a lot of screws as well. So we should have some CM screws, which I've got there. We've got some DP screws. Okay, we've got some FM screws. Check. EP screws. Check. And then we've also got some HM screws. Okay, so we're ready to start the build. Okay, so the first step is to take the left rear suspension arm, 12B, which is this part here, and we also want the left brake mount, 12D, which is this plastic part just here. Inside, you've got the smooth side. We're going to be working on the inside, and we want to be looking at this location here with these two screw holes here. And then this part with the flat part down is going to fit over the two holes. Okay, that fits in, nice fit, and then you should have something that looks like that. The next thing we want just to do is grab a CM screw. So I'll just grab one of those. I'm just going to lay these out on my mat because I've not got enough room on my screw organizer. And I'll just get organized. I'll get my screwdrivers out. Okay, or screwdriver. Okay, what he wants us to do is put a screw in the left hand side just here, and that's a CM screw. And I need to get some washing up liquid. I thought I was missing something. I'm going to use the tray that this came in, just to put a little daub on there. Just help that in, and then that isn't the right head. I'm just going to switch down one, or that one. The thing is with this screwdriver, there's so many different heads to choose from. There we go. So that screws in there lovely like that, and then that is securing that into place. Okay, the next step is to take the brake cylinder 12F, which is this part here. We've had these on the front. And then here you've got like a butterfly type shape with 3 holes in it. So that is only going to fit one way, because you can't physically get it in the wrong way because there's no hole in this corner for the locating pin to sit. So that will go on one way, like so. And then for this stage, it only wants us to use 1 cm screw in the top hole. So again, I'm going to grab a cm, just a little bit of washing up liquid on the ends. I'm going to line that hole up. And just fix that into place, like so. Just get a better view for you. There we go. Okay, the next step is we're going to take the brake lever, which is this part here. Now this is different. You've got an L written on the front, and then on the back it's got a keyway. You can just see that just up there. So when we look at this part here, the other side from where we put that screw, there's a notch on there, so that is going to fit in the right direction on there, and it's going to look like that, and it's going to fit in between. I don't know if you can see that. Let me just, you can see it's fitting in between this other part here, just there, and then you'll know when that fits because that key will engage and it'll lock into place. Now with this part you need to be careful because we're going to be using 2 types of screw. We're going to be using a CM screw in this top hole here. So we're going to do that first. And again, it's a metal screw, so I'm going to use a little bit of washing up liquid just to aid that in. Now, I'm not going to tighten that up. It's still loose because I want to line this hole up so that the screw will go in nice and easy. So next, this hole just here, we're going to line that up like so, and then in there we're going to put a I don't know what we're doing, a DP screw. So this is obviously going into plastic now. I'm just going to get my DP screws out. Okay, and I'm not using washing up liquid for this because we don't need to. And then just obviously line up those holes. Lovely. And then that goes straight in. Don't over tighten that because you're screwing into plastic. Okay, so now that one's tightened up, I'm then going to proceed to tighten this top one up that we left loose earlier. There we go. We have something that looks like that. So that's all those parts complete. Okay, step 5. So we need to take one of these parts here, which is the brake line connector, which are small parts. Okay. And then we need to position it so that the flange on part 12E fits between the arms of 12G, where the screw sockets are. It says the raised screw socket should be uppermost. So remember I said at the beginning, you've got one side that's slightly raised, it's different. That's going to be facing outwards towards you. You can just about see there that that's thicker than the other side. Okay. So what it's asking us to do, and I'm going to do this in a slightly different order. I'll show you what I'm talking about. So it's asking us to put this brake line connector, we're going to slip it onto this hole at the bottom, just here, where my little finger is. Oh, in fact, it might be okay. I thought that might have fallen off. Okay, so we're just going to slip it in between so it sits like that with the small pin facing down the shaft here. Okay, next we're going to attach the spring between this hole and this hole. Now this is directional. So let me just work out. Right. So this spring, you've got the long part before the circular part at the end. Obviously it's different both ends. The other side is just circular. You want the long part facing downwards like that. That is going to fit onto this butterfly piece here. I'm calling it a butterfly. Okay, so let me just put that into position. And then it should look like that. Okay. And then what we're going to do is we're going to secure that in, and again we're using 2 different types of screw. We want a CM, which I'm going to do first. No, I'm not. I'm going to do the DP screw first, and I'll tell you for why. Obviously we've got that brake line connector there balancing between the that part and the spring on it, so I want to secure all that into place. I'm not going to do it tight, because we need some movement to line this hole up properly. So I'm just going to do that now. Okay, so this is slightly fiddly because I will show you why in a moment. I need to take this off again. What's happening is when you screw through this part, there you go. Now I'm going to try and show you, when you screw that screw through, it was spaying these parts, these two things apart. So I've just put the screw through it on its own so that it can get a thread. I can make sure the thread goes all the way through, and then I'm going to fit this back on here and try again. There we go. That's got that now. So there we go. So we've got that spring into place there with that brake line connector through there. As I say, if you can just see that, just that bottom piece here, if it's not right, it pushes that downwards. So you need to make sure the holes are correctly aligned to prevent that happening, because the chances are that if you go too far and you don't realise, it will snap that part because that's thin plastic. Okay, so that's gone in there with a DP screw, and then this other side here we're going to use a CM. So again, I'm going to use a little bit of washing up liquid. There we go. And then we have the spring into place like so. Okay, the next step is to take the stiffener, which is this very fragile piece of plastic here. Okay, and then the bottom with this large bracket on is going to fit into the small hole just there. You can just see it at the bottom there. And then the other end, which is the thinner end, is going to fit into this hole just there where my finger is. So I'm just going to grab some tweezers to do this. Right, there you go. I'm not overly prepared. Okay, I'm happy with that. Maybe not. No, it's quite a loose fit, so I'm going to go straight in with some glue on that. Because I've been following other people's builds, I know that that is safe to glue now. So I'm just going to cut the end of my glue. And it's all clogged up. Okay, so brilliant. Okay, so what I'm going to do is the end of my, I'm just going to squeeze my glue, see it bubbling at the top, just up the top, and I'm just going to push it's still clogged. I'm just going to push a little bit of glue on the very edge of that. In fact, even better, I'm going to put a little bit on this plastic tray, so I've got more control. So I'm going to grip this with my tweezers, and I'm just going to apply a little bit on the end of there and on the other end, and then working swiftly, I'm going to push that into place. There we go. That is now secure. So we've just put this part in here, along there. Okay. So that is that part done. And the next part is to take the brake line and then we're going to push it onto the end of this pin just here. Now I'm not going to glue it at this stage. And there we go. And that is now on there. That's quite a snug fit, so I may not need to glue that, but later on I may glue that because I think we need to put this through somewhere. So I'm not going to glue that just at the moment until I know what's going on. Okay, with that part done, we're going to fit the bracket 12H, which is this part here. And that is going to go into this hole here, and then you've got a pin just at the bottom there, a hole, which is where this locating pin on here is going to fit into. See that on the corner there? So I'm going to pop that in, and that's going to fit in there like so. And then we're going to use a DP screw on the reverse side of that, in this hole just there, and that will secure that into place. There we go. And that went in quite a long way, but just be very careful because you're screwing through metal into plastic and you don't want to damage that. But I've just done that and that is now rock solid, so I'm happy with that. Okay. The next thing we're going to do is position the control lever, and it's going to fit this way. I'm trying to find the best way of describing this. It's going to be quite difficult, but you want the actual levers themselves to be both pointing downwards. Then you know it's the correct way. And then holding this in the correct orientation, so these bobbly bits are at the top, you're going to come over to where we've just put that bracket, and that is going to slot into there. Like so. And you're going to line up the hole through the middle. So I'm just going to quickly do that now, and then I can give you a better view of what it needs to look like. And we're going to be using an EP screw for this. Which almost went on the floor. And these are quite long screws. And that is going to go from the bottom upwards. And that's a fairly tight fit. It's quite awkward. Again, please be careful, because as you're screwing that, sorry for this camera focus, the top wanted to spay upwards, so that seems to be okay now. So I've left this loose for the minute. Saying that, I haven't at all. There you go. I've left it slightly loose so we can work out what orientation that needs to go. So that looks about right. If you look at it from the top, it wants this top bracket here parallel. Okay, so it's about there. And then I'm going to continue screwing that up in the right orientation. and then we should have something that looks like that. It's slightly off, but I'm okay with that for the moment. That can always be adjusted later on. And obviously the screw goes through the bottom there. As I say, be careful when you're screwing that in to make sure it's all lined up. Okay. Okay, next we're going to take the suspension hinge, which is this part here. And you'll notice you've got two different, you've got a thinner piece this side, and then you've got a wider piece the other side. So from the bottom, you're going to turn this up, and you're going to pop that on like that, so that the wider piece here is on the smooth side of this arm. Okay, we're going to line those holes up, and we're going to be using two different types of screws for this. So we're going to need an FM screw, and we're going to need a HM screw as well. And so we've got two different types of screw we're using in this. So I'm going to start off with the HM screw, and I'm going to put a little bit of washing up liquid on there, not glue. Okay, and because the HM screw is longer, obviously it's going to go through the wider part of this hinge. Okay, and I've just noticed that I've got some paint. You can see that in there. There's paint blocking the hole. I'm just going to get my tweezers and poke that through. There we go. And as you might be able to see now, the hole's there now. Okay, so I'm going to reline them up. And then, as I say, we're putting the HM screw through the wider side. And it's going through the end hole on this arm. Okay, so that's like that. I've just stopped for the moment because I'm now going to take the FM screw and put some washing up liquid on that, and then we're going to go in the other side, the thinner side, because it's a thinner screw. There we go, and then we have that on the end there like so. Okie doke, so the next step and the last step is we're just going to fix. Oh, no, please forgive me, I've missed a step. But it doesn't matter, it's I can do that now. So we want the other brake line connector. Nearly missed a step. Again, you want the wider piece at the bottom, and that's going to go on this piece here, just there. where my finger is, the part that's sticking out more prominently. Okay, that's going to fit on with, as I say, the thicker piece at the bottom, because that's where the screw is going to go through. See, the top's thicker there. That's going to be facing the bottom, like so, if you can see that. We're going to use a DP screw to secure that into place. Okay, and then it's going to look like that. It wants it facing sort of inwards at the moment, so at a guess this is probably going to connect up to that later stage, but it doesn't tell us to do that at the moment. Okay, fast forward again. Now we've done that part, we need to take these two plastic dampeners, and they've got an angled edge on there. So as you look at this, with the detail facing you, this open part we've been working on, we're going to push these dampeners on. Like so. That is one. Now you'll notice that the holes on one side are wider than the holes on the top, and that's because it's sort of tapered. So then we're going to put the other one on. And as I say, that will just fit on like that. So you've got the two angled pieces. You've got an angled edge here, and then you've got an angled edge just down there. So they're sort of they're symmetric. Now I believe there may be an issue with these in issue 13, where they've supplied the wrong one. But we'll come to that as and when we get to the issue. They might have fixed the issue by now, because I know that they were aware of the issue, but it's fine, we can still get round it. So that is that there on there, like so. Okay, so that was it for issue 12. I'm not going to lie, that was quite intense actually. So many fiddly parts. The instructions are jam-packed, full of information on fitting this. Lots of, I mean, there's so much to look at. So that's why I overlooked that step 10, which was my error, which is here. I overlooked this and moved straight across. So, as I say, that wasn't an issue for me, because obviously I could still get access to the part I missed. So I apologise for that. But now I know for issue 13, which is obviously next week, and I believe it's going to be identical but on the right hand side. So thank you for watching. Please like, share, subscribe. Thank you so much to all my current subscribers, it means a lot. Thank you to the new ones that I've just recently received. If you wish to buy me a coffee, there is a link in the description below. But until next week, take care, and yeah, see you later.